guys, and welcome back to my channel. And today I will be going over the new rules and some changes to the Ielts test system. So with this one, this is a paper-based Ielts. So from the 4th of January, just this month, there have been some changes and iterations introduced to the instructions and the layout of the paper-based, especially in the listening test. So now, before I get into it, please consider subscribing and check out all my other videos in my playlist. I put it here called Ielts, and it might help you prepare, and it is all based on my personal experience with Ielts and even PTE. So I also had videos of how to prepare a PTE. So the new changes will mostly be about the instructions and the layout of the paper-based listening test. They are claimed that not to really affect the performance and experience of the test takers. However, I personally believe that some people might have a hard time adjusting to them. So let's talk about the first changes for the 2010. The first alteration is that the word sections will be changed into parts. So instead of sections 1, it became parts. So the 2 parts, and now the listening test consists of 4 parts instead of sections. Now this one isn't really the big of a change, and many won't even notice that has changed. It's the same, it's just the name sections changed to parts. The number 2 is that the first part example from the listening will be completely removed now. So there be no more example, and may really affect those test takers who relied on the first part example, but they maybe didn't prepare at all, or they used this time to set themselves into the examination mode, you know, like, yeah, it's the example is just to settle you down. So that example is not there anymore now in the new 2020 changes. So listen very carefully and be more focused and prepared to read the questions in the parts 3 and 4, because those parts are quite time limited, and that is given right before they start, and it's quite short. So either way, I believe that many people will feel that something is missing from the beginning of the test, but as previously said, but you must be aware that you must take preparation even more seriously, because now that you have to be super focused and be prepared to tackle and to jump right into that from the first second the audio starts. That's where the questions you really have to focus on the set of questions that's gonna follow, without any examples and without any prior preparation. So the time you sit on that chair, prepare your ears, your hearing, your concentration, so you won't get lost during the test. So as soon as the audio starts, focus on the questions. And now the last things that is changed is that the page number will now be removed from the paper-based exam, and here it will perhaps be slightly more difficult to navigate between pages, but I don't think really that this will affect any good performance of the test takers. So now let's remember how the rest of the test is structured. So there are 4 parts of the listening test, and it has 10 questions each. Each part has 10 questions, and the questions are designed so that the answers appear in the same order as they've heard in the audio. So first 2 sections are set into the social everyday context, like people talking to each other and everything. So that hasn't been changed. In the first part, you will hear 2 people talking that will be like a dialogue, or 2 students talking to each other, probably a travel arrangements or booking a ticket, or something like moving house, booking a hotel. It's pretty much the same as the previous Ielts, but or anything, something like that. But the part 2 will be a monologue. It can be about the local facilities, in a school, university, jobs, anything that fits into the social everyday context. And yeah, that's the part 2 or the section 2. And the final 2 parts, because there's 4 parts in the listening section, so the final 2 parts are set in educational and training context. So the third part will be a conversation between 2 main speakers, like there's 2 speakers and there might be more people, like you can hear people in the background talking, so that's a little bit of a distraction. So but it's all right, just focus on listening and following the readings in the paper, and you will be fine. Just follow all those the questions so you won't get lost. So let's proceed to the part 4 of the listening test, and it is the most difficult of all the tests, and there will be a monologue or one person talking about an academic subject, probably giving a lecture, for example. The recordings are heard only once in this. Even without an example from 2020 changes, they include a range of different accents. So you will hear a different accent, and you should be trying to recognize and understand accents from New Zealand, Australia, the Great Britain, the UK, the Americans, and Canada. And so that's the news. You will hear a lot of accents. So it's usually previously I think I heard only British accent. So now there's a lot of accents there going on. So capping it all off, there are 40 questions in the listening test, and then the test takers will have to listen very carefully and are given 10 minutes to write their answers, and each question is worth 1 mark. So remember, study, and practice. Just keep practicing. There are a lot of resources in YouTube and on the IELTS website itself that can help you to practice. So I hope you found this useful, and now that you are aware of what is changing to the IELTS test system in 2020, just keep practicing. So thank you so much guys for listening, and I will be very happy if you decide to leave a like, comment, or even consider subscribing. I will also put my FB page, IELTS computer-based tutorials. So I also have taken the IELTS computer-based. So if you want to consider trying computer-based, have a look at my videos, and so you will get an idea on what's the difference between the two, between the paper-based and the computer-based. So yeah, so there's resources there on my playlist if you want to check it out. So thank you again guys for watching, and I hope you learned something from this video. Thanks guys, bye!